Welcome, everybody. I'm Noreen Savage, and this is Starting Out Bright. I am so glad you're here. And in case we haven't met before, I just want to tell you very briefly who I am and who I am not. First of all, I am nobody official with Bright Line Eating, but the program has done a lot for me. And I discovered it by a friend who posted on her private Facebook page. Her name's Lori, and she said that she lost 57 pounds by using a program called Bright Line Eating. Anybody interested, just give her a holler. So my hot little fingers went over to Messenger, and she proceeded to tell me about 4 bright lines described in a book by Susan Pierce Thompson. The book's Bright Line Eating. And those 4 bright lines that you don't cross are no sugar, no flour, 3 meals a day, and weighed and measured portions. When Lori told me that, I thought, there is absolutely no way I was going to do that. Absolutely no way I could do that. But we had lunch together and she talked about the program, and I just let that information sit. She gave me 2 pieces of advice. She said to get the book, and she said to get into a group that's called We Eat Bright with Lines. It's a private group still there today. There are many groups now. Starting Out Bright, which is associated with these Zooms. The recipe group, which you'll hear more about if you're not already in there. The official group, there are many groups. So I got in the We Eat Bright with Lines, and I just watched. And I just became inspired by the people who were transforming their lives, losing weight, not just like 10 or 20 pounds, but 50, 100, 150 pounds. And for the first time in a long time, I felt I could do this. And if I did this for 1 year, I would do what my friend Lori did. I would post on my Facebook page and I would help anybody I could. I get choked up. I just get choked up because to me, it's been a miracle. And if you're sitting there on the sidelines wondering about it, I ask you to just think and jump in tonight and just absorb everything that the Auls are going to be talking about. Because if you want hope, this is the place to be. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the year went by. I did get in because I found out where I was. When I was sitting on the sidelines, I realized where I was. I was in a lot of pain, 5'2" and 270 pounds. Wow. My feet were swollen for about a year. My knee was in excruciating pain. I would snore every night, waking up my husband. And on a lot of those nights, I truly wondered if I'd wake up in the morning. I was having some problems, and I know that a lot of people are. And so this program, when I got into it, really helped me so much. And that year came up, and I was getting ready to post my promise that I would post on Facebook. And I'm a Christian, and God told me, Noreen, you can do more than that. You could connect all these people who have been inspiring you. And that's what I did. So that's why we have the Zooms, and we wouldn't have them without people saying yes to be able to tell their stories. And so thanks for taking one for the team. Thanks for taking 2 for the team, because we have the Auls. And if you weren't here back in, I think it was October 2020, this was the first time that the Zoom chats were recorded. And the reason was because I knew there were going to be so many people coming. We had to do something. And so here we are. And since then, I believe it's a God thing. We've just been recording all of them for everybody to see. So thanks for that inspiration. Like, let's record it. Okay, let's do it. So without further ado, help me welcome Maggie. I'm going from the left to the right. Maggie, Kelly, and Natalie Aul. Welcome.
Yay.
Thank you
so much for everything you do, Noreen. You're amazing.
So amazing.
You're such an inspiration.
You're welcome, but thank you. And thank you. So, I told a little bit about my story. And for those that weren't here, maybe they weren't even doing Bright Line Eating or even thinking about it. if you could just give like the short version of like how you came into this. I know that people are wondering, 3 at a time, how did this
We needed that much help, I think.
Yeah, times 3.
It's
Detox
amazing
times
thing.
3. That was an
Yes,
adventure.
yeah. So, well, I tried everything, every diet out there. I had food shipped to my house. And then Kelly, she started going with me. And it was interesting because God never does anything except from the inside out. And all of the other things we tried was all from the outside in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you don't repair, you're going to repeat.
Ooh.
So you're just going to keep repeating and keep repeating. And so I prayed for 2 years. I prayed, Lord, there has to be something. And during this time, for so many years, God kept speaking to me. And at first I thought it was a little bit harsh, but it was so right on. And I think it needed to be that for me. And he said, I need you to be an influence today. I need you to be an influence, and you cannot influence as much as I want you to when you're at that weight. He said, in this society, you will miss so many people at that weight. And so I finally got to the point where I said, you know what, Lord, your will, not mine, whatever you want, I am willing. And oh my gosh, it was so quick. I was having my devotion time, and the Lord just said, get out your phone and look on Facebook. And I thought, well, that's not God, because I try not to do that.
Exactly.
And so it just kept coming, and it was stronger. And I thought, okay. And so I got it out, and I went on Facebook, and the very first thing I saw was Susan Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a video on there, and it was talking about your willpower. That's exactly what I needed to hear. So I watched the video. Then it was the 14-day challenge that she was talking about. And I thought, oh my gosh, I usually, talk to my girls about this before I put in my credit card, on the phone here. And I thought, oh man, is this going to be safe? So I just did it. So I didn't say anything right away. And we were having lunch together. And so I said, okay, you guys, I did something. Well, that doesn't surprise them. They're just, yeah, okay, what is it?
Me and Mom dove in, and we did keto for like 3 weeks. Lost 10 pounds, gained 5 back. So.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Why? Because it wasn't a heart thing. It didn't do anything on the inside.
No.
Yeah.
It was all just on the outside.
Yep.
And so then I told him, I said, okay, we got to watch this video. So they said, okay. I said, it's just short. And the lady's a really good speaker. So they said, okay. So then she talked about the willpower, and they were both, wow. And then I said, I went ahead and bought the 14-day challenge. And like the first time ever,
Natalie's face as you say that.
quiet.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
that
Kelly,
again.
tell about your reaction.
So then-
It's so funny.
I said, well, the whole time I'm watching the video, I'm thinking, okay, what's the catch? What do we got to do? Do we got to eat fish and broccoli forever? I don't know. And so when she asked, do you want to do this with me? I said, yes. And my brain said, what? Are you crazy?
Right.
Because I used to say, I will do any diet as long as I can have my chocolate. I literally said that.
Yeah.
And no, this was giving up chocolate. And so I'm like, wait, what? And then my brain started going a million miles a minute, oh, what are we going to do? Never have pizza again. Never have blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
And then Natalie, she was pretty much, I can do anything for 14 days.
We did keto 3 weeks. We did it 3
Yeah.
weeks. So I'm like 14 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably just, go back to our
Gain
old
it
way
back.
of eating. So yeah, I can do it for 2 weeks.
So we started, and I think
October 10th, 2018. Never forget that date.
so we got the book. And Kelly, did you get the book, Kelly?
I got the book because my brain was going wild, and that really sold me. When I found out what that poisonous sugar and flour does to your brain, I was like, okay, this is seriously what I am. I'm addicted.
Yeah.
I am an addict of sugar and flour. And we had to get free.
Yeah.
So that sold me.
Yeah. Just think about, I was talking to Kelly about this because I was praying about our Zoom tonight and this morning and during the day. And there was just this huge revelation that came about, because one thing in the book that it said was sugar is as addicting as heroin. And I thought about that. I thought about, what if we were going through life and we were just on heroin? You know, our kids were on heroin, our family was on heroin. We would miss so much. I think about pastoring, ministering to people, life and death situations, and I'm on heroin. You know, you're just never there,
You know,
completely.
and I'm wondering too, Maggie, and I don't know that everybody knows that you are a pastor. I mean, you are ministers. So, you know, when you were saying about the influence part,
Yeah.
do you think that part of that is possibly something that I've thought about with the sugar and flour, and just the way that our mindset, or at least my own, of in the past, it was be like, where's the next fix? And that could be the donut,
Yeah.
you know, that could be whatever.
Yes.
So when you're more into you can't be outward.
That's
So
right.
how can you influence when you're thinking
Yep.
about yourself?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep.
How can-
Exactly.
How can you help somebody else get free from anything? It can be addicted to anything when you're not free yourself. That's
Yeah.
like impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when we talked a year ago, you also said that as you were really contemplating jumping into this, I believe it was Natalie said something about her own weight, that she had never been, or she
Yeah.
couldn't remember a normal weight or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
did you say, Natalie?
Oh, well, so Susan was talking about how you find your goal weight or your goal size. And I thought, I have no clue what that is, because I've never been thin like my whole life.
And when she said that, that cut into every wall, every deception, every lie, every fear. That's what cut in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Every
my gosh.
excuse, every
Yes.
putting it off till tomorrow,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
all those things. As a mother, I'm sure you felt that.
Oh my gosh.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't help that we're pretty tall also. So I was always the big girl, the tall girl. I remember I went to a foot doctor and he was like, "Oh, you're big boned." And I thought to myself, "Excuse me? I'm a teenager. I'm dealing with my own insecurities. Then you tell me this?
Yeah.
That doesn't help."
Yeah.
So now we fast forward and look at you now. I mean,
Right?
Only by the grace of God.
Yeah.
My bones aren't
Wow,
big.
wow.
you found out you're not big boned. You just
Yeah.
had extra layers on them, right?
Insulation.
Yeah.
Insulation. So
You know, the other thing too is when things would happen and things all, you know, problems, troubles, situations, hurts, you know, all those things happen. It's interesting because I think about what I went to, what my first go-to was to make it through that, the emotions, the feelings, the hurt, the whatever it was, you know, and it was always food.
Yeah.
It was always food. And so I thought, okay, now what? Now what do I go to?
Yeah.
You know? And here, I mean, I literally came into a really truthful relationship with the Comforter. You know, Jesus said, I have to go, but I'm going to send another Comforter. You will not be left comfortless. I thought I knew who that was, and I really didn't.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same.
I really didn't.
so talk a little bit more about that revelation. How long did it take you to get to almost, I think, like the place of surrender into that Comforter?
Yeah. What was it? What'd you think, about a year?
Yeah. For me, I was going through, we went through detox for like 3 weeks, and then it was just, the plan was so huge, you know, a lot of work, thinking it's a lot of work and stuff. And then at day 100, something clicked in me. I think it clicked in all of us,
Yeah.
where it
Yeah.
was, wait, this isn't easy. This is awesome.
Yeah.
We could stay on this forever.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
yeah.
I think it truly was because we didn't know what to eat, and we didn't
Yeah.
go out to eat for a really, really long time, months. And so we just had like meat and vegetables, and pretty
It was
soon
like
we were
baked chicken and
we
steamed
cannot do
broccoli.
this anymore.
Oh.
This is so then that's exactly when Natalie came up with her. I mean, it's totally gone.
So it was like day 100 where it clicked. And then day 101, I'm like, I quit. I can't. This is, if I have to just live off of this boring, tasteless, dry food again. And then I saw a recipe on Facebook. It wasn't compliant, but I thought it was chickpea blondies. And I thought I could make that work for me. Instead of some of the ingredients, I can switch that out. And when I experimented with that and it turned out and it was good, after that, I was hooked. I'm like, this is fun.
And that really set me free because, you know, you're thinking,
yeah,
we can never do this plan because we can never have pizza again. We can never
Yeah.
have ice cream again. We can never have, but you know what? You can just make it different. You can
Yeah.
have nice cream. You can have your pizza, just make the crust different. And that's what set us free. Okay, we can do this forever.
yeah.
And to me, it's almost better because you kind of find yourself as you keep going throughout this. And I have found out, I never knew this before, that I'm a plate finisher. So like your eyes are always
Yeah.
bigger than your plate. So I would make my plate too big before, but I would have to finish that because, you know,
Good.
oh, there's just a couple bites left. Now we get to legally do it. And like you're supposed to finish your plate. So that is
That's a
so
lot of food.
satisfying. So let's say you make a pizza, you get to eat the whole thing. You make like a nice cream, you get to eat the whole thing. Guilt-free,
Yeah.
no like bloating, no after effects of it's great.
And you're satisfied.
Yeah.
You're full.
And you're not craving more and more and more and more.
And who thought we could go 5, 6, 7 hours sometimes because we're doing church stuff before we can eat again. And we're cool with that.
We
It's like,
lived.
oh my gosh. Yeah, we lived.
We didn't die.
Now, you know, I got to mention a couple of these comments that are coming in because you
Good,
mentioned
okay.
about pizza. And I first want to say, Deb attests that Natalie's cabbage egg pizza crust is a game changer. Okay. So that is one thing. And Barb, she bought a personal size pizza pan for her cauliflower pizza crust.
Woo!
Okay.
Good job.
But then Adela wants to know, Natalie, can you please tell me again the name of your food scale, the small one?
I sure can. Today I actually dropped a can of Frank's sauerkraut on one and I killed it, but that's okay. I'll just get another one. Yeah. It's the Escali Primo and I get it right off of Amazon. It's ESC Escali.
ALI?
Yeah, something like that. ESCALI Primo. And it
Okay.
comes in all these different colors.
And how much are they about?
They're like 25.
Nice.
Okay.
Lightweight. Yeah.
Yes. So the Ascali scale. You probably
Yeah.
can get it on Amazon or some kind of home goods store kind of thing. So, okay, we're jumping around a little bit, and I want to bring us back to you're in now the program. You've hit day 100, and for somebody who's new in the group, I think that what you're talking about is this thing called automaticity. And for that, I want to just explain, or maybe you can, what happens, because I want to describe it for somebody. It happened to me at 5 weeks. I had been just like pouring my heart and soul into this. I had the food program on my phone, and I'm like spending all day just like looking at it, trying to split the proteins. Like I'm a variety person, so I want to make it work.
Yes.
But I'm like following the lines and I'm realizing it's like a puzzle. I can put this together and there's plenty. There's plenty to eat. But then one day I woke up and I realized it had all come in together. Like I knew what to eat. Like I just knew what to eat. How much was enough? I had done my homework, and I think everybody starting must do that. You got to at least study the plan. And I had done my homework enough that now it was a part of me. And there was just like, this is going to work.
So one thing about the 100-day thing, we got just a really cool insight of 100% is easy and 99% is hard.
Yeah.
And so do you want to share about that?
Yeah. So when you're constantly in that 99% mode. You're struggling and you're still trying to make it work for you. So you can still have your thing, but then still have your, like, you're working around the program. You're trying to work the program instead of letting it work for you. And then you're still trying to hold on to those old bad habits and addictions instead of just, okay, I'm all in. I'm letting go of this completely. And I'm just going to follow the plan like it says.
Yeah.
And that makes it so much easier because you're not constantly relying on your own willpower to work through that.
Yes.
You're not constantly making decisions. Should I have this? Should I not? Because you're all in. So you're like, there is no should I.
That's right.
That's just not even there anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody thinks the lie is 100% is hard and 50% is easy. But no, it's not, because the struggle in your brain, you're having struggles all the time.
Yes.
But when you're in it 100%,
that's right.
There's no struggle.
Yeah.
You find that freedom, and it's only that freedom is only found in one place. That brain freedom, that confidence freedom is only found in one place, and it's surrender. 100%. And once you do that, the clouds are gonna lift, the food's gonna taste amazing, and you're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, I am free.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we so rely on our feelings.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing 99%, your feelings are going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you meet someone and you're just in love with them, and, you get engaged, and now you're planning your wedding and you're so excited. And then after the wedding, it would be like, and you don't even talk to each other. And
I
then
got this guy on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. You just, I want to be married today, but you know what? I don't really feel like being married tomorrow, or I'm not going to be married. It's kind of like the hardest thing I ever did was quit smoking. And, you tell somebody who was an addict, like an alcoholic or somebody like that, and you go, you can have one drink. You're not an alcoholic anymore. You just have one. That just doesn't work. But when you go all the way in, like I went all the way in when I quit smoking, you couldn't even pay me to have a cigarette now. You couldn't even, and if you don't go all the way in, you go through that detox again. You never get the good taste going now.
Yeah.
You never get the reward, the benefits. And so then you think, well, what's so great about this? How come they're enjoying this and I'm not? And how come it's hard for me? And it's hard because you never get to the place where your heart is repaired. It's free. You're leaning on, you're not leaning to your feelings now and your emotions and being led by, you wake up in the morning. How do I feel? Did I sleep good? Am I okay today? Oh, I've got, no, you wake up and you go, this is going to be a good day.
Yes.
This is going to be an exciting day. This is, I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. And that just sets the course. But if you're 99%, you never get to that.
Yeah.
That's really true. In the starting out bright, I tell, like, it was back in, I think, October, and somebody posted, I wish I can remember who right this minute, but they said, oh, New Year's is 100 days away. And I said, well, let's do a 100-day challenge. We'll just do this thing. And we'll do it. And we'll do it publicly. We're going to do it. And then the next day I'm like, what did I say? Like, I'm going to do that. And I really had this moment that I thought about, what if I actually just surrendered to this?
Wow.
What if I just really allowed myself to take in the whole program as it's written? And I still have my bulletproof protein powder, but I still, but I have my program, and I don't make excuses. What if I do that? And it's been great. It really has. I'm not perfect, but I'd go in with the idea, I'm not going to finish strong this month. I'm going to finish surrendered. I'm just
That is
That's
And that's not my
cute.
line. That came from Emily, who was on Starting Out Bright. But instead of finishing so strong that we have to finish and do things so strong, let us just do it surrendered.
Yeah.
That's
And-
great.
You know, it's easier to surrender if the purpose is so much bigger than you,
Mm.
because we're all so connected. I mean, if there's anything that you get from reading the Bible or prayer or, that kind of a journey, or even loving other people and having compassion, is we're all connected.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there are people out there that need you to be successful.
Exactly.
They need you to get this victory and live 100%, because they need you to show they can do this.
Mhm.
And
And
for you
that's
to,
your
like you're
influence,
doing.
Maggie. And that goes back to your influence.
Yeah.
How can you
Yes.
help somebody else if
Yes.
you can't help yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, you really got to get out of the pit yourself
Yeah.
to be able
There
to help
was-
somebody else out.
Yeah.
I
I
really
heard-
think so.
Yes.
Now, over the
When they
past
started
year,
writing their books,
oh,
their whole heart was, tell them that region one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was to reach. So when I wrote the book, my novels and stuff, I really felt that I was just writing this for one person's heart, to reach one person, and the rest is bonus. And when your mindset is that way, it just changes everything. Everything is an adventure then.
So then talk about when you stopped writing and you got stuck.
Oh man, I'm telling on myself today. So when I wrote my 6th novel, then COVID hit, and I literally said this to you guys. So I put my whole heart and soul into this book, and what do I have to show for it? And I had lost that
Mhm.
reaching one person's heart. I
Yep.
had lost that joy.
Yep.
And I was looking for what the world calls success, money, fame, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the Lord was really telling me, you've lost the one person's heart thing.
Yeah.
Thank God that Jesus didn't lose the one person's heart.
Oh
He
my
goes for the one.
gosh. Yes.
And so, I got right back into that. Okay, where's my mind here? This is not how I want it to be. So it's a slippery slope. It is.
and
It
tell
is.
what that Chariots of Fire guy said.
So then Eric Little, he's the Chariots of Fire guy. And he said that he ran because he felt God's pleasure when he ran. That was the whole purpose behind it. And look at the huge impact that he had on so many people.
Yeah.
That changes everything. We're in this to reach one person's heart. And we're in this because we feel God's pleasure when we help others and we pull somebody else out and say, you know what? You can do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
I heard this
absolutely.
story about the Titanic. We've all heard the story. Now, those lifeboats in the Titanic, the
Yes.
people in it, they were only 10% full.
Yeah.
So they're in these lifeboats. It's dark. The Titanic is sunken. Here's all these people in the water. They're screaming. They need help. The reason they drowned was because the ones that were rescued did not turn around to go get them.
Yes.
We have been rescued.
Yes.
We're in the boat. Now we need to turn around
Yeah.
and start helping others out.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you just stay stuck on yourself,
Yes.
you're going to go where your attention is, where your focus, where your sights are on. That's what you're going to go to. And if it's constantly on yourself, what I don't have, what I can't have, if it's constantly like that, it's just going to be a circle. You're going to keep going around that mountain. But when you start thinking about other people, now you've got a purpose. And now it gets exciting.
It does.
And you're going to be victorious
Yeah.
if you start looking at other people to help them. They say if you're depressed, help somebody out.
Oh, that's good.
Help someone out. Yeah, if you're going through a bad time, help. Who can you help? Who can you lift up?
Yeah.
Because
That's a
you get
great-
lifted up.
That's a great mindset. And I have to ask you, since it's been a year, and I know you're 3 years and counting, right? Into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.5
So-
years.
So since the last time that we talked last year, have there been struggles though? Because not everything's a merry-go-round. And
Yeah.
when I know myself, I have my moments. I did yesterday. Like I had to go and lay down. Get away from the food. Just go lay down before anybody gets hurt. Meaning me.
Yeah.
I
So
think
what-
one of the things that's hard for us is we have a church family that we love to be together.
Yes.
And we have church and we laugh because our church is like all day because we go out to eat. We like to spend time together.
Exactly.
So we found ourselves going
Yeah.
out to eat almost every Sunday for a while. And all of a sudden we're sitting in the living room and I turned to them and I said, you know what, you guys?
And we're like, we know.
We know. We're in this together.
Don't
So
say it.
bad.
What was the answer?
We're eating out too
We're
much.
eating out too much.
And we said to each other, okay, we got to make a change because we are never going back to where we were ever.
Ever.
And
So we made a commitment. We're like,
Yeah.
okay.
made a goal.
We have to be realistic because we can't just be like, we're never going out to eat again because
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. So we were like, okay, once a month.
Yeah.
If we
There's
can
a
help
limit.
it.
Yes.
Once a month.
Once a month. That's
Yeah.
like,
And then we still have, our food at church and stuff, but we just bring our own
yeah.
and nobody cares.
You know,
Yeah.
I find that so true. In fact, just last week we were traveling and we were going to stay at someone's home. Coming in kind of an odd hour, we packed little lunch boxes and I knew we were going to be there like 2:00. It was for a funeral type situation. So a visitation later on that night. And we came in, we're like, we haven't eaten yet. We brought some things. And you know what was nice about it? They didn't have to worry about us.
Yeah.
We didn't have to worry about them. There was no
Yeah.
imposition. It was just a matter of fact. We brought some things. We'll sit down and eat real quick. And it was
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this thing that I used to think I would feel funny about is
Mhm.
actually a blessing.
Yeah.
Because you know in your mind, I'm all set. I don't have to worry about 2:00 how I'm going to be feeling. I am prepared. I'm ready for this. And
Yeah.
the beauty part is the other people too didn't have to worry about it. Like, I
Mhm.
got this.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have found when we've even done it where, I don't know, the guys, we like stopped at Subway, but we had already packed our lunch. And then we were like, oh, well, we'll just go too. But then I thought, you know what? My food I packed is probably actually going to be better than what I would get here. And when I do eat my own weighed food that I know is perfectly portioned, that I know exactly what I'm eating, I'm not going to be hungry later, there's less mental decisions and chatter
Mhm.
going on afterwards.
Right?
Because then I'm like, ooh, did I get enough? Did I not get enough? Am I going to? There's none of that. Because I'm like, that's my food.
Yep.
Yeah. And no
The
one
end.
cared at Subway. We just
Nobody
brought our
cared.
cute little lunch bag,
Yeah.
Just sat down.
Yeah. Nobody cared.
Absolutely. Do you feel like it's become your identity then?
Oh,
Definitely.
When like little kids at our kids' night will say, here's a piece of candy. Do you want one? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't eat sugar. What? But it's just, this is who we are. It's not even, I know it's crazy to say, I know it's crazy to think. It's none of that anymore.
Yeah.
There was a gal that she was inspired by what we did just on Facebook. She like kind of stalked us to see what we were doing. And I saw her the other day and she's like, oh, I see you're still keeping it off. I'm like, yep, yes. And
People
then
are watching.
yeah. And she goes, is it hard anymore? And I said, no, actually it's not hard. But, we always keep in the back of our minds, it is a slippery slope though,
Yeah.
just like you're only one step to going back, but yet thank God because of him, you're only one step back in.
Yeah.
And so, even though you could be doing this for a million years and still you just got to watch yourself because, no, I'm not having that because that's going to turn me into a monster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't take the blessing for granted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what individually have you learned the most in your own personal journey as far as tips and tricks, or, you can talk a little bit about your devotional, or what have you personally learned this past year or even more? Who wants to go first?
Yeah. Who wants
Go
to go
ahead.
first?
Go
Really?
ahead, Kelly. Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. No,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Kelly.
It's just the whole surrender thing of, that freedom, that sweet freedom that we have that has been my dream to have this. And I wake up sometimes and I'm thinking, guys, we're living our dream right now. We're free. We're free from food addiction. And it's just keeping that surrender because like I said, it's a slippery slope and you
Yes.
can start taking things for granted,
Yeah.
getting lazy, letting those little
Yes.
point numbers.
Yes.
It's fine. I'm not going to get fat off that or, like, and no, you got to just shore up. You got to stay surrendered. It's a daily thing. It's
Yeah.
every meal. Sometimes you have to still surrender.
Yeah. Yes.
How about you guys?
Who's next?
Well, I have found that, I don't know if this is going to sound funny or not, but I found that the physical and the spiritual are so connected more than that. I mean, I believed that already, but not to this extent. They're so connected. So when you see things outward, like on the outside, there is so much going on the inside where the root is.
Mhm.
So spiritually, I wasn't as in tune. I wasn't as sensitive. I wasn't as clear. I wasn't as focused. I was distracted. We do a teen camp once, 1 week each year in the summer, and we're the band for it. And I remember the first year we went, we just didn't even realize how high energy this is. First of all, there's no air conditioning and it's in July. And when you're overweight, like we were, that was hard. And so just the energy of it and the momentum of it. And we wanted to be all in and we wanted to be a blessing to that ministry. And we were as far as we could, but it wasn't. We had so many walls and we had so many, we were uncomfortable. We were embarrassed. We were, just all those things. And our mind was constantly on what am I going to wear and how do I look? And we're up on the stage and, but now our heart is there. And not only that, but our heart is open. And we have relationships. We can reach to these kids without any of us, without any of ourself
so good.
there.
Yeah.
And we can be we're more there than ever.
Mhm.
And that has been in every aspect of my life or our lives, really. Our church has just grown. We've reached more people than ever. We've had, miracles in our church. We've had, so many things with every age, like the children and the teens and I just think, oh my gosh, I feel like I wasn't really, I went through grade school and I don't think I was really there. I don't think I woke up until I got to high school and I thought, I really hate school. This is really bad.
Wait, where am I? How did I get here?
And I feel like, I'm 63 and I was telling my girls, I'm so thankful that you guys have this at your age. Because I think about all the years that I went through and I don't even feel like I was as awake as I could have been.
Because of your weight?
Yeah, because of my weight, because of the addiction,
struggling,
because of
this pull.
Because you did have thin moments.
I did have times where I did lose weight. Yes.
It was not fun. I remember you tell me, because she was a flight attendant and she was really thin then. And she was like, I would have like a hot dog all day. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that is not fun.
I didn't know what else to do,
Right.
Yeah.
So Natalie,
free. Wouldn't you say that you guys feel so much freer?
Yeah, freedom.
Just
Yes, so much
mentally
freedom.
and just,
Mhm.
and then, all of our health problems, any problems we had are gone.
Yeah.
And I used to snore. My girls didn't even we have a girl week that we stay at a hotel for a week. And my girls didn't even want to stay in the same room with me. They go, Mom, you snore. And that was one of the first things. We started sleeping rock solid, hard, and no
Best
snoring.
sleep ever.
My husband has stopped snoring because he has started doing this. He's like 2 months.
A month in, just a month.
Wow.
I kind of glazed over that, like the snoring. When I say I snort every day or every night, for me, and I know some people can't help it. It could be, their physical makeup in their throat or whatever, but I felt so badly every single day, knowing that my husband woke up because of my snoring. I just felt horrible about it.
Yeah.
I think, it's a big deal.
And I don't think you slept good.
No, I was like, had sleep apnea, and he was
Sure.
like sometimes
Ah.
looking to see if I was going to wake up, and other times he had the pillow waiting over me. Like, it's one or the other. One more. It's like, no, I'm just like doing motorbikes in my dream.
Oh,
Oh no.
No. So,
Ugh.
Natalie, okay, you got
Okay.
19 cookbooks.
Yeah,
What in the world? Like,
I-
how?
I don't even know.
Right?
It is an out of body experience. So I remember when I started, Kelly had, she was doing her devotions, her and God, and he's like, I want you to start a Facebook group, and I want you to call it this and this and this, that all the things. So it's the Recipe Ideas, No Sugar, No Flour Facebook page.
33,000 members. Now that is wow. I can't even. God
Recipe
is so
fam.
good.
It was
love it.
16,000 at the last time when we got
Oh
together.
my gosh.
It's doubled.
Oh my god.
I love it.
And such
Wow.
a beautiful group. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone
It
is
is.
just so
Love them
nice
so
and
much.
so kind.
Yes. Oh, I
It's
just
so
love them.
amazing.
Yeah.
So then,
Giving.
So then we were going to start like a once a month get together and just like, because some other ladies in our church had started eating like us. So I'm like, we should start like a little get together, you know, just to support each other. And then mom's like, you should write a cookbook. And I'm like, no, I don't want her. Me write a cookbook? Kelly's the writer.
I'm
Kelly,
like,
write a
I
cookbook.
could help you publish it.
So I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
Kelly's a publisher, in case you didn't know that.
Yes, she will publish your books. She is a publisher.
It's pretty fun.
So then I'm like, okay, let's try it. Let's try this cookbook. So I started putting it together. Kelly helped me format and do all the stuff. So I remember, I remember the day I posted on the recipe group. We were sitting at our church garage sale, and I'm on my phone, and I'm like, the book is done. Let's just see if anybody's gonna like it, you know, because you think to yourself, I like the recipes. Is anybody else gonna like it? So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I posted it, and all these people were like, yes, I want one. I want one. I'm like, okay. But then I got a couple people who were like, I hope you get sued. You're getting so much trouble. So that didn't help.
Ooh.
I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this. But I remember that like point of decision of, do I give up or do I keep going? My head was like, give up, because what if you get sued? What if something happens? I don't want to get sued. And then my heart was like, do it. Other people need this too. So I'm like, oh, what the heck? Let's just do it. So I dove in, and I remember getting my first proof. I literally was shaking because I'm like, what is this? I'm so excited. And then after that,
You
it
were
has
like
just,
finishing a cookbook every month.
yeah.
It's crazy.
And just, what was it? Last night, I'm doing a new one. It's a meal prep cookbook, which I'm really excited about. I'm so excited about this one. And it's going to be,
She's dancing.
it's going to be like this size. So my Cooking with Joy size.
Meal prep or batch cooking?
Meal prep, batch cooking, same thing.
Oh,
It's not going to be this size. It's going to be this size, because this lays
Whoa.
open nicer, and it's more than 60 recipes. I think it's like 190 some I put together.
Wow.
Air fryer recipes. It's like bulk cooking. So it's not just one serving. It's like 4 servings, 3 servings. So you can freeze these, because I started meal prepping for my Uncle Tim.
And
is
I
the
wanted
duck
to hear
I-
about that.
oh my
Mothers do
gosh.
too.
It is so
Yes.
amazing.
So
What
my
is
uncle,
happening?
yeah, my Uncle Tim, when he was born, he was diagnosed with Prader-Willi, which like you have little hands, little feet, and you always are like hungry, and you always have that craving to eat just all the time. So in like really extreme cases, they can literally like eat until they die. So
Oh,
you
no.
have to like really monitor them. Thankfully, Timmy's not that extreme. We haven't had to like lock the fridge or anything like that.
So how many people have lived past 50?
Oh, so we Googled it because he was having some health issues. And we Googled like the life expectancy. And it was like there were only 12 people that have lived past 60. And Tim right now,
50.
Past
50.
50 in the world.
Yeah.
in the world. And Timmy right now, he just turned 56.
50.
55.
55. He just turned
Is that
55.
amazing?
So
And he almost died like several times just last year.
Yeah, on his birthday last year, right before, he had fallen, broken his arm. He was having fainting spells. His breathing, he was having really hard problems breathing. And he's a short little guy and really chubby. Because, he doesn't work out and that kind of stuff. He lives in a
his
group
body was formed because of this Prater Willi, as he's like a marshmallow.
Yes.
So his muscles and his bones are different.
He's like a teddy bear. He sits down, it's just squish. He's so cute. So he was having all these health issues. And I think it was almost every single weekend, Dad was called into the ER because my dad's his legal guardian because Timmy was having issues. And it was really bad. The doctors were like writing him off. He's going to die. So I'm sitting in bed, me and God having my devotions. And I get this thought, what would happen? Because I know our results health-wise are just so amazing. I used to have chronic stomach ache, chronic migraines, chronic headaches all the time, and no more of that. So I got this thought, what would happen if Timmy didn't eat sugar, didn't eat flour, and would lose weight? And I thought, this is impossible. He lives in a group home. How is this going to work? And then I thought, I would make all his meals and freeze it. I would do that. So I thought, I'll just bring it up to Mom and Dad, see what they say. So I brought it up to them and they were like, yeah, I mean, we could ask. So we asked the group home, and it's a private owned Christian group home. And they were like, yeah, you can do that. Wow. So I make all his meals for 1 week and I freeze them. I just did all his meals today, which Thursdays are like my meal prep days. And when I first started, I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to like this so much. Week 1, it was fun. I'm like, yeah, these recipes look so good. Week 2, I'm like, okay, this is a lot of work. Week 3, I'm like, okay, I give up. This is way too much. It's a lot of work. But then it was kind of like when we started, you get used to it. You get used to that extra load on you. So now I started making meal prep recipes where it's more bulk stuff instead of making one little batch at a time. So that's kind of where this meal prep cookbook came from. So now Timmy, he is doing so well.
He's never been healthier.
His walking has improved. He's not fainting anymore. His breathing has gotten so much better.
His eyes used to just be like glazed over and you would just kind of be sedative kind of. And
he was like gray.
His eyes literally look different. Yeah. They're cleared up. They're focused.
He sings all the time. He's happy all the time. This is the first time that there's a 10-year difference between Tom and his brother. And this is the first time that he has had a brother that he can hold a conversation with.
Wow.
Yeah. And Timmy, he's funny. He's patient. He's calm. He's not just going after food all the time. That is broken.
He's loving the big meals because we get to eat a lot of food.
Yep.
And
the lady at the home there bought a book.
One of the ladies, because I messaged some of the ladies, and one of them was like, "Oh, Timmy's wondering if you could make the morning glory muffins." And I thought, how does he know about them? How does he know that's what they're called? So I said, yeah, I can make those. And I'm like, just curious, how did you know about this? So one of the ladies was like, yeah, I have one of your cookbooks and we were looking through it together.
I have a question though about Timmy. You said that this is kind of the natural tendency of this disease to be eating all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now it makes me wonder, does he eat in between meals?
He doesn't. No,
so
he does really well.
Maybe it's not the natural thing of
That's
the
right.
disease.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
more like what everybody's expected.
Yes.
Because it's been the way the diet has been.
Oh my God. He's just addicted to sugar like the rest of us.
Wow.
Probably.
Isn't that amazing?
Man, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one really amazing thing is the home, they weigh him once a month and he hasn't lost like in numbers wise a lot, but his home, they said to me that, yeah, the numbers haven't moved like a lot. He's maybe lost like 5-10 pounds, but he's had to go down a clothing size. Like they've noticed that ways the inches have really melted off of him. And that's a lot because he does have like a little bit of like deformities and like he's really short and that kind of stuff. So just that is just so huge for him.
So that means that it's just easier to move around.
Yes.
Yeah. They
Yep.
say for every 1 pound of fat loss takes 4 pounds of pressure off of your knees.
Oh, well, I can
Isn't that just
speak.
crazy?
I had excruciating pain on my knee, and
Mhm.
it is gone.
Wow.
It's a miracle, you know.
Yes.
I'm getting real close to the 90-pound marker.
Wow.
So great.
That is
I
awesome.
love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so funny. I remember we used to play frisbee golf down the street from us, and I was overweight. So when I would throw the disc, you kind of have to do like this kind of skip walk up thing. And I would almost twist my ankle so many times
Wow.
because I was overweight. Now I could do so many more things that I never could have done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We were saying that when you lose the weight, when you walk, it kind of feels like you're just floating.
You're floating.
Oh, it's amazing.
It
It's just totally incredible. Our time is getting short here.
Ah.
So, but we're going to play 3-question Thursday after this. So here's my question right now. What would you say to somebody who is on the fence, who has not started the program and really is wondering, you know, because we all say it's so hard in the beginning. Really, is it? Like the hard part is deciding, right? But what would you say to them? That one person.
I would say that your future self will thank you. If you started today, just think of where you'll be next year.
Yeah.
You will be so happy.
And when I started, I wrote down, you know, how much I wanted to lose to a higher goal weight than I am now, because I never thought I could lose past that. And it looked like a mountain. I'm like, this is a mountain. This is going to take forever. And I don't know about you guys. I was a slow loser, like 1 pound a week.
Yes.
And you just keep writing that down, write that little victory, one more pound down. And but then I don't know, something just happens, and pretty soon you're on the other side of that mountain, and you look back, oh my gosh, we're past it. We
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
And you just got to take one day at a time, because it sounds overwhelming. But if you just take one meal at a time, one day at a time, be like, okay, I'm going in 100% on this meal.
Yeah.
Just breakfast. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I have to think about. Not tomorrow, not the lunchtime, one day at a time. And
Yeah.
pretty soon you'll be looking back and you've crossed that mountain.
Yes.
And it really does get easier every day as you
Yeah.
keep going.
Well, just like we talked about all the things about our body that we were healed of, there's so many things of your heart, your soul, your spirit that's healed. Depression,
Yes.
fear, anxiety, panic,
Yeah.
worry, all of those. And it's interesting because we all go through situations, you'll go through it differently. You won't go through it with those same things.
Yeah.
And it's actually sometimes very kind of surprisingly shocking how, oh, this doesn't affect me like it used to, or that doesn't bother me as much as it used to. So just as much on the outside that we have been healed of and free from is the same on the inside that you're free
Yeah.
from and healed of.
And I would even add to that in some ways, I've had even a stronger experience of emotions because those emotions were dulled by food.
Sure.
Oh.
And I had to actually feel the feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a choice in the moment. Do
Yeah.
I feel the feelings or do I feel the feelings?
Oh,
That just came.
yes.
That's
That's good.
But, you know,
Yeah.
it kind of goes to like what you don't repair, you'll repeat.
That's right.
And when you fill those feelings with food, that's really just, I call it throat hunger, like stuffing those feelings down,
Yeah.
where the ones you want to cry or scream or whatever, or just
Yeah.
say something, but you know it's not right to say.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're in those moments, and that every one that we go through, we heal a little bit more, I think,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
allowing ourselves to do that.
Yeah.
I had one example that so helps me. I even just think back to it, every once in a while. But I was kind of telling Noreen about this the other day. But so when I was a teenager, I was dealing with like major worry and fear, and I just couldn't get free from it. And but then it's a long story short, but I dug into the Bible and I gave God like 100%. And that was the only thing that brought me peace. And he totally rescued me out of all of that. And one of the things that, even though you're free from something, it's going to try to come back, but you have to be ready for it.
That's right.
And so I think back to this example. So let's say that you are a professional website designer. This is just an example. And you see a friend of yours who doesn't know what they're doing. And they're like, okay, I'm going to make myself a website. And so they buy a domain name, they buy all this stuff, and they're going to put it together. And you're like, this is what you do all the time. And you're just watching this. And so day and night, he is working on trying to make this website, and he is just making a mess. He's working his brains out, all for nothing. And meanwhile, this is who you are. This is what you do day in and day out. You know all there is to know about making websites. And it frustrates you. And pretty soon, when you can't take it anymore, you say, stop, please stop. Let me do this for you. And you know what that is? God is our caretaker. He's our cravings taker. And this is who he is. This is what he does day in and day out. Mm-hmm. And he knows all there is to know about food, freedom from food addiction, from any addiction. And yet he just wants to do it for you. And so when I'm like casting my cares onto the Lord, when I'm casting those cravings onto the Lord, I picture him. You might think no one understands what I'm going through. No one understands my problems. But you know what? There is someone, and they're volunteering for the job.
Yes.
They're volunteering to do it for you. Mm-hmm. And it's Jesus. And he's standing right there saying, hey, pick me. I will help you.
Yeah.
And
he beat the ultimate food test. He did fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, we've never experienced hangry before, but Jesus was at that point of hangry. I mean, we think that 4 hours is a long time to wait for food.
Yeah.
No, just think about 40 days. Then the devil doesn't just come to him with, here's a sprig of broccoli. No, he's like, here's some warm bread. And guess what? Jesus beat the food test.
Yeah.
He beat it for us, showing us you can do it too. So here's your victory.
So when I cast my cares and saying, Lord, I give you all this food addiction. I give you it 100%. I picture him swooping in and trading places with me in that moment. And he's taking the hard stuff. And all we get to do is just, thank you, Lord, for your help. And so we're not alone.
Yeah.
We're not alone, but we have to learn to lean on that comforter, to lean on the helper in that moment.
Yeah.
To let
and
him.
also, you bring up the fasting of Jesus and fasting. I look at it too, that the devil wasn't tempting him on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Waited till he's at the most vulnerable point. And here's the thing is that when we are at our most vulnerable is when we really have to be aware.
Yes.
We have to be aware of what we're doing, who's around us, packing our food, doing the food prep. When we know we're going to, we get these little hints that we're going to have a tough time when events happen. Let's just leave it at that. Events happen and you're like, ooh, this is not going well. I think that I am going to have to take a stock of where I am right now today. This is going to be a tough day, and I need to pack. I need to get ready. I need to be on guard. I need to be, have a partner. I need to get in the group. I need to just get my mind set. Because when we're most vulnerable is when it's going to be that slippery slope.
Yes.
So true.
And it's harder to make decisions in that most vulnerable part. And here, being a procrastinator, which I mean, we can all be, you can think, well, I don't want to use this mental energy right now to figure out what I'm going to eat. I'm too tired now. So then you wait until you're in the heat of the moment where you have to use that same amount of mental energy, but you have less willpower and less energy to do that. So if you just would have prepared ahead of time when you had more space to think about it, you're using the same amount of effort just in easier situations.
Yeah.
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 I tell
Okay,
myself that a
so
lot.
I was going to close and start up again with 3-question Thursday, but we're going to just go right into it.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I've been anxious to hear one thing. This is
Oh,
going to be
boy.
question number 1. How are you doing about your clothes? Are you
See,
still sorting out clothes? Are you all done with that? Is it all one size or what's
You'd
happening?
think you'd be done after 5 million times.
does
but
it ever end?
I don't know. It's starting to feel like we're getting pared down here where the things that we actually buy now, we're actually going to be able to keep,
Yeah.
For at the beginning of the journey, you're like, I bought this new shirt, but
No,
I
we
won't be
never
wearing
bought
it long.
anything. Wait, we never bought anything new.
No, because
Yeah.
they're like, you're only going to wear this for a couple months. I
We're thrift stores all
literally
the way.
would have clothes that I got at the thrift store that were like, oh, I can't wait to wear this. And then you try it on, you're like, oh man, it's too big now.
Wow.
Which I mean, that's not the worst thing.
So now when we go to
Yeah.
thrift stores, because that's kind of our favorite thing to do,
Yeah.
and it's way better than going out for cake and ice cream like we used to do. So, but now it's like,
Now we say we're just looking for shabam clothes.
yes, shabam, the ones that, yeah. And then you just have all your favorites. Can you imagine? We're not there yet, but our whole closet
Pretty
is just going to be all of our favorites.
I'm
Okay.
just still trying to remember the clothes they bought because we kind of have little shopping thing here where so they have a room. It was a bedroom.
Yes.
And my husband made hanging racks around the whole room. And so we call it the mall.
A
And
whole
so we
room is a
literally go
closet.
in there and shop.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so it's kind of fun. But really, I think now we're going to the store for the first time and we're like, no, I don't need that. I've got that. And,
Yeah.
and it was really funny because we just went to a thrift store a few days ago and I said, Kelly, what about this for you? We're across the whole store. What about this for you, Kelly? She goes, I literally already have that one.
So it's a totally different mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, here's question number 2. All these recipes, all this food, bam, bam, bam. What's your favorite?
Oh,
hands
Okay, the
down,
husband
hands
getter.
down.
Right now,
Yes.
the husband getter
Husband
is
getter.
like the best.
which is if you have the cookbooks, I mean, if you want the
I
recipe.
thought you were going to say if you have a husband.
If you have a husband, it's the husband keeper and you get
Yes.
extra points. But it's in volume 3 and it's called like toasted banana crisp. And then Kelly has her little twists on it, which you can find on the recipe
So
site.
the name quickly came from, I made it for my brother who's not even on the plan. He's watching.
Hey,
But
bro.
he has started eating it though, and he really likes it.
Yes. So I made that for him a long time ago and it didn't have a name then. It was just banana something.
breakfast. Eat this.
I came out later after he ate. I'm like, what do you think? He goes, you could get a husband with this meal. So
And it just kind of
is now
stuck.
the husband getter.
The
So now we
husband
know.
getter.
If Kelly ever makes this for a man, he's got
He's
it.
the
Get
one.
out.
He's the one.
It hasn't worked. Somebody asked if it's worked yet. Not yet, but
She hasn't given it to anybody.
we've
yet.
eaten it enough times. He must be on the way.
She knows it by heart.
Yeah.
So here's the last question for all the points. Bam, bam, bam. What is your one piece of advice? One tip or anything?
Relax.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
good.
I was my hardest critic. Here we're doing all this amazing stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's still not good enough. So I finally had to come to the point of relax. You're going to be eating this way forever.
Yeah.
One mess up, don't try to go for mess ups, but one mess up isn't going to ruin it all. Just go right back because we're going to eat this way forever. Relax.
Really?
Mine, it was your quote, actually. You're only one thought away from having a good day. Or you could say, I'm only one thought away from, instead of dreading this way of eating life, to enjoying it and to having fun with it.
Yeah.
Instead of I don't get to eat that, it's I eat
get
this.
to eat that.
Yeah, I don't eat that. I don't have to not get to. I just don't. This is what I get.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would be my thing too, is I would stay very positive in your thoughts, in how you look at things, and in your words. It makes a huge difference. Like, for instance, it's Monday. Oh, I have to go to work. Switch it around. I get to go to work.
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference. Oh, I have to measure this. No, I get to measure this.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I'm eating everything
Yeah.
Make sure you get enough food.
I get to eat this great food. I get to
The perfect
feel
amount that's
good.
going to fuel my body all day.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just absolutely amazing. And everything that you have done for the community is absolutely amazing. Honestly, I don't know what we would all do without you.
Oh my
Oh my-
gosh.
Well, I feel like I get to meet all my Blee celebrities,
Oh yes.
my friends so
Yes.
much. It means the
Oh,
world to me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
literally
you
think
all
to
mean the
myself,
world. I'm speaking for everybody.
Aw.
You all mean the
Oh,
world
that
to
is so
us.
sweet.
Likewise, you guys.
so
Love
thankful.
you so much.
I
So
literally
thankful
said to
for
them
you.
that it was so worth it being overweight and losing all the weight just to meet all of you.
See?
I know.
Just to make these
Yes.
connections. I would have never met you if I wouldn't have
Absolutely.
surrendered and lost the weight. Yeah.
And I'm
So worth
seeing
it.
Kelly's devotional is a must read. What is the
Oh.
name again?
Yeah.
It's called Rescued from Food Addiction Devotional, Fully Surrendered and Free at Last. You can get it at kellyaulnovels.com.
Mm.
And thank you, Deb. She's the one that inspired me to write it. She's like, you need to write a devotional.
And she's
Food
writing
devotional.
the second one.
Yes, I'm a few
Also-
chapters into the second one.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's good.
Don't forget that. And then what is the website for your cookbooks, Natalie?
It is weight loss recipes cookbook.com.
Okay. And what is the website for your podcast, Maggie?
Oh,
Because you need to do one.
yeah. I can get you hooked up there. I can get you
Yes,
hooked up.
girl.
I'm going to
Oh
be
my
one of your
goodness.
first subscribers. All that good positive energy.
Well, you can find all of our Bible studies, and we start with music,
Sunday
and it's very fun. And
services.
Sundays, and there's shabams. You can find all of those on our church website or church Facebook, which are both the same. And it's loveofgodfamilychurch.com or on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So fun.
thank you so much for being here tonight, coming
So
back.
awesome, Noreen.
I
Thank you for
just
having
What
love
an
us.
honor to be on with you. And you know what,
Yes.
Noreen? You look absolutely
Yes.
gorgeous.
Oh my
Absolutely
goodness.
beautiful.
Even just from
Yes.
last year, just
Oh.
to see the transformation every
Yes.
time you do a Zoom is
Yeah.
just wow.
So
It's
yes.
It's a
yes,
blessing, isn't it? Just
Yes. Yeah.
to just
like
be
aging
able to
backwards.
keep
It's
on
awesome.
going and use your recipes and read the devotional and
Yeah.
listen to your positive words, Maggie. And, we
Oh.
got the whole package here. So,
Hey,
just,
Noreen, is it against the law if we pray for you before we go?
no, it's not. I accept all prayers.
All right. Let's all pray. Okay. Okay, Father, we thank you for Noreen. Thank you for putting this vision in her heart, giving her the boldness to do this, the strength to stay with it, that she is looking at reaching one heart. She's looking to bless other people's, empower them, lift them up, encourage them, reach them.
Yes.
And Lord, we thank you that she'll stay strengthened in that.
Yes, I pray, Lord, that you would encourage her, that bring across her path all the people that have been touched by her
Yes,
just act of
yes.
obedience to you. And we thank you so much for her and everybody watching. We just pray, Lord, that they would just find that 100% success.
Yes.
And they would find that true freedom from food addiction.
Yes, and that they would be at peace in their mind and in their heart around food and in life, and that they would know that you are with them every single step of the way,
Yes,
every
Lord,
meal,
yes.
every bite, that you are with them, empowering them to
Yes.
overcome all of this.
Thank
and
you,
we
Lord.
thank you, Lord, for
Thank
Noreen
you,
and
Lord.
all that she is doing, giving to this community, giving her heart, giving her time to help
Yes,
encourage
Lord.
others.
Thank
We
you,
thank you,
Father.
Lord, so much for her.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes,
Thank
Jesus.
you, Lord God.
I am
Jesus.
so touched. I don't even know what to say, but thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Noreen.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Bravo,
so
bravo.
much.
Unbelievable. So thank you all for being here. And I am going to close as I do each week. Good night. Stay bright. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Good night, everybody.
We love you.
Love
Thank you
guys.
so much.